After years of deadly gun violence, of protests and appeals, it seems as if America will soon get its first significant, if narrow, gun safety laws. US senators have created a cross-party framework on gun safety. It appears that the legislation has enough votes to pass the Senate in the coming weeks. On Sunday, a bipartisan group of senators unveiled an agreement bringing about gun safety reforms. This includes support for tougher checks for buyers who are under 21 years old, cracking down on illegal gun sellers, and an additional provision, that is, the red flag laws. These laws are aimed at keeping guns out of the hands of those who pose a threat to themselves or others. Alongside, the senators have also called for an increased investment in mental health services and school safety resources. They proposed barring anyone who's convicted of domestic violence from owning a gun. These changes have the support of 10 Republican senators. That is the number needed to pass through the Senate. But keeping the support through the legislative process for the next 2 years might turn out to be a significant challenge. President Joe Biden has welcomed the development and said that this is a step in the right direction, but also added that more needs to be done.
Yes, keep marching. It's important. Look, this has to become an election issue. The way people listen, senators, congressmen, is when people say, this is going to affect my vote. Too many people are dying needlessly. And what's even being proposed in the House and Senate is marginal. I mean, it's important, but it's not all that needs to be done. The idea we're not going to do background checks, the idea we're not, anyway, the answer is March.
The reforms left out of the proposal are a blanket ban on the sale of assault weapons and a provision to expand background checks for all sales on firearm transfers across the country. As of now, no background checks are needed for arms sales by unlicensed or private sellers. These proposals come as tens of thousands of protesters rallied across the US over the weekend to call for stricter gun laws in the wake of recent mass shootings.
We need to stop normalizing this because we are getting to a point like we're constantly getting so many different mass shootings, so many different like school shootings that we're just like normalizing to the point that we're just like, this is just a part of life.
The National Rifle Association, America's most powerful gun lobby, has said it would respond to the reform once the full text is released. However, it noted that the NRA would oppose any policies that would stop citizens from protecting themselves or their loved ones. The US has the highest rate of deaths due to guns among the world's wealthy nations and has already seen over 250 mass shootings in the first 6 months of this year. Our correspondent, Susan Tehrani, is still with us. Susan, how significant is this bipartisan agreement?
I went to the Tonys last night. Yeah. So it's extremely significant considering the fact that, you know, it is a breakthrough after a very long time, almost decades. There is some kind of bipartisan consensus. It was really expected that at least in terms of mental health initiatives and school safety after that devastating shooting at the Uvalde Elementary School in Texas, that something of this sort would at least move the needle a little bit. As President Biden said, the Democrats hoped that more would take place. But in terms of background checks and red flag laws, I think that'll be something that more states would be on board with. Already in the United States, 18 states have those those red flag laws, and more states are expected to be on board. And that's something that states could get on board with because it's something they can control, as opposed to, for example, a universal ban on assault rifles or universally raising the age from 18 to 21.
That was Susan Tehrani reporting live for us from New York.